right, y'all. Let's get back into these hot topics. According to TMZ, Dave Chappelle is willing to speak to Netflix employees who were offended by his LGBTQ jokes, and he's waiting for them to reach out. Now, do you think Chappelle feels pressure to try to make peace with Netflix LGBTQ plus community? What do you think?
I'm ready for this to be put to bed. I'm just ready for it to be put to rest. I think that everybody has the right to be offended at whatever it is they're offended at. But me and Dr. Heavenly were having a conversation the other day, and it went, when somebody says they're offended, what does that really mean? Like, oh, I'm offended. You didn't die. You didn't lose breath. You didn't lose a paycheck. You didn't lose your home. You were offended. And then 5 minutes later, you go back to doing whatever other daily task it is you have to do. This, in my opinion, is a completely hollow protest, because Netflix has over 4, 5, 6 million pieces of content on their platform. And at no point have I ever heard anybody on this protesting line say that they want a complete audit of everything that's on Netflix that may be transphobic. So y'all are just singling out this one thing, but what about all the other transphobic pieces of content that rest on the platform? In addition, the president of Netflix already said he ain't taking it down. So what is there to be accomplished by him having a conversation with y'all? Y'all gonna vent, y'all gonna get to spew off whatever it is you need to spew off, and the content is still gonna be there. I can't tell people what to get mad at, but I honestly think in the list of priorities of things that are affecting trans people, like homelessness, employment, fair treatment, y'all are spending too many resources on a low priority item for your community.
Well, it seems like that when we get something to be offended about, right? We collectively, everyone gets on board, and I'm offended too, and everybody wants to become part of the story, and then we move on to something else. It's a mob mentality when it comes to that. Al, I want to get your thoughts on this tweet. Check out what this Twitter user posted. Netflix employees will walk out over Dave Chappelle, but not the Cuties movie. Got it. Did anyone see the Cuties movie, first of all?
I did not.
I did. I saw the clips. It's of the 11-year-old girl who was born to, Senegalese, I think, Muslim parents, and in that very religious environment, she couldn't, she wanted to behave differently. So it's basically a hypersexual sexualization of young girls. And I definitely didn't see an uproar about this, because this is borderline pedophilia and child entrapment, if you ask me. You never saw any outrage over that. But they did finally take it down because there was a protest in Europe for it. As it relates to Dave Chappelle, I really feel like that Dave is being sensitive by saying that he would talk to them. And thumbs up for Dave for taking that step, because he doesn't have to. Dave got his $20 million. He had a $60 million contract. He had 3 specials to do. This was the last special. He got paid his $20 million. He has no contractual hold to make him help Netflix with this firestorm. I think for him to extend that olive branch speaks volumes to not only his sensitivity to the community, but also his standards of being a comedian.
Remember in the 80s and 90s, we had Archie Bunker and such politically incorrect things, but we didn't even think about it as politically. We were like, oh, that's edgy. And either you liked it or you didn't. You watched it if you felt it. And if you didn't watch it. Now, I'm not saying that was the right way to be, but I think we swung the pendulum too far to the other side now, where now everything is, you can't even describe someone the way they really look without being called whatever phobic they want to put on it. And I think that we're getting to a place where we can't even, like, y'all seen the movie Demolition Man, right? Have you seen that movie? In the future, I remember watching when I was younger, and I was like, damn, we could never get like that. And guess what? 20 years later, here we are, where people were getting fined and penalized for cussing. And there really was, things really got really, really strict. Go ahead.
I want to say one thing in relation to that tweet. I want us to stop doing that. Oh, y'all didn't march for cuties, but you're marching for this. It's very divisive. And there's never a wrong time to be right. Following that logic, oh, we didn't protest Ike Turner when he slapped Tina Turner, so we shouldn't protest Chris Brown when he slapped Rihanna. We got to stop doing that. I
don't know. I don't know, Q. I got to disagree with that.
It's apples to oranges. So what? We didn't. March for cuties. We're marching for this. So is your point then? Because we didn't march for cuties, then we should shut up for every injustice that comes subsequent after that. I don't like that.
I feel like there's two sides to that, because we as African Americans have undergone and had to repress and be victims of so much that we, with our own eyes, even in our workplace, we see people that don't look like us, of the majority, get away with stuff that we cannot. So to have the voice now and have social media to say, look, you're treating them that way, but you're treating us this way, and we're not going to have it, is awesome. And we're in a movement now that as African Americans, our voice are being heard louder than ever as it relates to equal treatment because of social media and because of making comparisons. Like, you can't say this to that person, but feel like you can say something similar to me. They not get in trouble, and I do. So I can't say that I can fully agree with.
But it's almost telling me that I need to shut up. Like that's the thing I don't like. So because nobody marched for cuties, and now I'm over here offended and being mistreated, basically you're telling me I need to shut up. Here's the thing. I'm not going to lie to you. The cutest thing didn't strike a nerve with me. So there was no outrage from me. I don't have children. I saw it for what it was. It did not bother me. Therefore, I was not going to march. This bothered me. So because that didn't bother me, I now need to shut up about this.
Well, to Al's point, and to address that, that's exactly what this is all about. The fact that didn't bother you because it's not affected, doesn't affect you. Just like I'm not transgender, I'm not in the LGBTQ community. So we're feeling like, why can't we're you know what? We're honestly feeling the same way.
Right.
We're all being told to shut up.
Side of the table.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think the outrage is, why do we all have to just straighten up when it comes to transgender and the LGBTQ community, but we can criticize straight, cis, het, kids, pedophilia, all this stuff is okay. And I feel like maybe it's time that we have that conversation about what the boundaries should be with all these groups, because it does feel uneven.
I think what people need to understand about the trans and the LGBTQ community, it feels like a lot right now because they're making a lot of changes and a lot of strides very quickly. But we have to acknowledge the fact that these marginalized groups, first of all, the worst thing you can be in America, worse than being Black, is Black and trans, okay? They are literally at the bottom of the social totem pole in this country. And these people have been stepped on for so long that finally they have gotten to a point where they are getting some headway, and they're getting a lot of headway very quickly. Mm-hmm. And I think it's making a lot of people very uncomfortable because it's happening so fast. But we can't negate that these people have been stepped on for so long that doggone it, they damn near deserve the headway that they're getting. Like, let these people get treated like doggone human beings. They've been oppressed and suppressed for so long.
I absolutely agree with you that they have been definitely oppressed for a long time, and they're making huge steps faster than probably most groups. And I think that does make some people uncomfortable. I'll give you that. But again, swinging the pendulum to the other way, where now there's some people, I'm going to say this. I feel in some spaces, there's an overcorrection where you can't even ask a question without you being deemed transphobic. And I think that's where we like lose each other, where we're like, well, we throw our hands up. You know what I'm saying? And I think we've gotten so, the overcorrection is where we got to fix it. We need to treat people correctly without penalizing people that are not in that community for not knowing or not being up to speed. And we cancel people now for not knowing, for saying the wrong thing when this is all happening so fast. You know what I'm saying? We need a town hall. I think we need to have that town hall. We need to have that town hall. I think we got to get to an understanding, because we're going to be fighting every single week and someone's going to get canceled.
You know what, we should. And I think we need to have either Hope Giselle, she's a great trans activist, or Angelica Ross, I know Angelica, or T.S. Madison, when they have a special episode and just really delve into some of these things.
We should. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to make our Black trans folks feel uncomfortable. They're part of our family as well. They're still our people.
I'm going to put a call in to the girls, and then we're going to set it up.
Let's do it.